very blessed Easter Sunday to you. I'm Father David DeMarco, a Jesuit priest with the ministry office on the Health Sciences campus of Loyola University Chicago. And it's a privilege for me to reflect with you on this Easter Sunday, a most unusual Easter for us. Amidst a surging pandemic, it's an Easter that may evoke in us a question. The question, where is the risen Christ? Where is the Spirit of the risen Christ at work today? My room here in the Oak Park Jesuit residence abuts Washington Avenue. It seems like I hear sirens up and down the avenue all day long on their way to the emergency department at Rush Oak Park Hospital. And the sirens have become jarring for me, much more so than in years past. I wonder who's inside the ambulance. Is it another victim of coronavirus disease 2019? How anxious that patient may feel. How difficult their breathing may have become. They're sick enough to go to the hospital, sick enough to be admitted, and sick enough perhaps to die. As I work in the yard, which is my form of relaxation these days, I look around at the neighbors who walk past me, usually gregarious. Their heads are down. Their faces are covered by masks. They don't even utter a word. Fear marks their activities. And so it's fair to ask, where is the risen Christ? Where is the Spirit of the risen Christ today? Even though it's Easter Sunday, even though the daffodils are blooming, the grass is greening, and the trees are budding, the usual Easter joy doesn't seem to be present in the same way. I wonder if it's so different now from the first Easter. Jesus of Nazareth had been executed by the political and religious elite, executed for crimes against the state, executed for disrupting the social order, for prophetically speaking truth to power. His once hopeful followers were devastated, disheartened, depressed, disoriented, and terrified. And then they scattered. And then time passed. For some, just 3 days. For others, maybe weeks or even months. And gradually, Jesus' followers began to experience him as alive and loose in the world. The post-resurrection experiences in Scripture attest to this. Experiencing Jesus alive and loose in the world in the activities of their daily lives, while fishing, while walking with a stranger, while comforting the sick, while doing the kinds of things Jesus did in his earthly ministry. They began to experience him as alive and loose in the world. Indeed, Easter may be a day and a season, but beyond that, it's an attitude of experiencing or allowing ourselves to seek and experience the risen Christ in the ordinary stuff of life. Seeking the risen Christ in the kinds of things Jesus himself did. Let's see if you and I can find the risen Christ in the way we care for one another in the days ahead, in the selfless service of those who work in our emergency rooms and intensive care units, in the work of those unsung laborers who are maintaining and ensuring our food supply and electricity and heat. Let's see if we can find the risen Christ in the groceries that you and I purchase for our 88-year-old next door neighbor for whom it is unsafe to go out and who really can't navigate an Instacart app. Let's see where you and I can find the risen Christ in the days ahead between now and 31 May, when the Easter season gives way to Pentecost. And may the peace that we wish for one another gradually unfold. Amen.